stuff to YouTube anyways. It doesn't matter if it's excellent. It's all flowy. This is called attached juggling. These are called the ebbs, or the end balls. This one's called the flow ball. And when I figured out about 10 years ago, I've been b-boying for maybe like 12 or 15. And I figured this little triangle around the flow ball is the key to it all. It's like, as long as you try, you learn the basic, like this is the flow control to get like an orbit. If I could get the orbit. The flow sort of sets the tempo to it all. So when you do this, though, the flow is the key, this little triangle above it. If it doesn't go through there, these two ebbs, it won't tangle. So you can sort of spin it back on itself and let it go. And you're really not focusing on what these are doing. You're aware of them because they'll hurt you if they hit you. But you sort of focus on what's going on right here. So it's in the tempo you put here, like a shake, like a punch, a little toss, little wrist turns. Like I DJ, so it came from that sort of scratching thing to it. Pretty weird though. I don't have the softer set. I'd ask if you wanted to try them because they're really very easy. Anybody can do this part. Like I'd hand it to someone like this and be like, you really don't have to move. Like everyone can sort of find their rhythm. If you have a rhythm, if you dance or anything, it's a lot easier. And there's like all these different techniques and positions I'm going to teach in the club. But keep an ear out. I'm starting a circus arts club and I'll teach breakdancing and open to anyone else that might have a skill to teach. So if you know how to dance.
But thank you. That was really
No,
cool.
thanks for your time. Demonstration, physics at its best.
Okay.
Physics at its best here. See, gravity works.
Wow.
It's called attached juggling. I just set my camera down and goof around. Hopefully I'm in frame.
Oh, is that right?
I'm starting a circus arts club here on campus called The Outlet. I have a hobo clown, like a Charlie Chaplin type breakdancing Charlie Chaplin, I guess.
Oh, is that right?
And I figured this out about 10 years ago. Did a little world tour and stuff for this company called Astrojacks. They launched them as like an AJ, like the world's first juggling yo-yo. So I call it attached juggling, and I sort of broke it down into more categories and wrote a language to describe it. So it's pretty simple. These are called the ebbs. The whole language is real cyclical, ebb and flow. So easy to remember. Ebbs are for end ball, so it started already. And the flow makes this little triangle when you hold it in this particular position called chaos. There's a lot of variances of chaos and how you can hold like a ball or a string with it. But basic chaos position, there's a rule of the try, and you really just have to add a rhythm. Because as long as these two ebbs don't go through this little triangle, so you can make it shorter at first, you can spin it around and back on itself and let it go, and it'll come back out again. So you can spin two of them back around on themselves and let it back out. And as long as it hasn't gone through there, which it looks like it has, it won't tangle. So this is generally one of the worst tangles you get. It's like that. It's called a knot. Just try not to do that. But the basic idea is just find a rhythm to it. So if you have a 4 count, you can think of it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's very jazzy.
And they don't get tangled up, huh?
They don't get tangled up if you follow that rule.
Right.
But they will every once in a while. This will go through here if I loop it up, and it'll get a knot in the string. But the most that you happen is you get those bows normally, where it locks it down like that. But there's a lot of different techniques. It started, and they were trying to really market it to the yo-yo community, and the yo-yo players, they liked it, I guess, but the yo-yo players didn't really accept it. They came up with stuff like this, like bigger sort of performance-y tricks where you can do big raps. My style was more intimate breakdancing. You had to be closer, like from a distance. It only worked if it had lights in it, because then people would be curious, like, what is this? He looks like he's magic. But I figured out all these different like positions of how you can hold it, whether it's a ball, string, or a combo. And then techniques. So this is like the basic language. It's called the MIS. The MSS stands for Mentoring Support System. And as long as the ebbs don't go through the try, there's all these positions like chaos position is my favorite. And the techniques you can add are like you add motion. So that's a physics thing. Motion. You feel the pressure. So motions are like you have pressure, force, and feel in it. Like everything that's below your gravity point is feeling. The second you get it above the gravity point, you're forcing it. And you have to sort of cushion and feel the motion around. But so you swing and spin it with your motions, or you wrap and pull it. Those are called pressures. So you can like drag it up and down your arm, and as long as you keep it to a rhythm and don't let that go through there, it'll keep coming back out.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then once you like the motion pressure change is the third one, where you can like change your position. So that's where the juggling really comes in, all the clawing motion and the ball switches. It's just, it's jazz. You find a rhythm and sort of go with it, you'll be able to do it. we'll do the fairs and stuff out here pretty soon. I have to write up the Constitution. I found a teacher to sponsor the club, and I want to teach it. Like I wrote the language, and it's been some time now, 10 years of developing it. So I want to teach it as a culture. Like it's sort of poi, it's sort of juggling, it's sort of clackers. If you remember clackers, everyone thinks they're clackers.
Relaxing too.
You can do that, like. But I think that there's a culture to it. It's definitely, I did Tai Chi, and I just got out of my yoga class, so I'm like, I feel real loose. I'm like, oh, demonstrated MCC